What's up, everybody? Welcome to something new. We're starting a special professional development series for the senior leaders in the squadron. This includes our FGOs, senior NCOs, shop chiefs, flight commanders, and flight chiefs. In Slack, I will add the requisite officers and ask that the seniors add the applicable NCOs. I'll start with some videos on a semi-regular basis as time allows, and we may have some Zoom calls or in-person talks as well. Just remain flexible, and we'll see how it goes. So I'm making this video. I spent the better half of a Saturday. It's 9:45 on a Saturday night. But I felt like this really needed to be done. So that brings us to our first point. Why are we doing this? A lot of our PD is focused on new people, young airmen, NCOs, lieutenants, junior captains. We incorrectly assume that our senior NCOs and senior captains and FGOs have things wired. As I've articulated numerous times in the past, we are all growing and learning, up to General Brown and Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force Wright. The commander, superintendent, and I have an obligation to develop and facilitate growth for you all as well. Provide you with the resources you need and help you reach yours and the unit's goals. I'm going to try to hit on some hard truths, and things will be a little less generic than in other PDs. We want to sharpen your steel, and I ask that you bring an open mind and a willingness to engage. Please check your ego at the door and exercise discretion, as we will demonstrate some vulnerability and openness here. I'm a facilitator, not a guru, so you'll hopefully see me learn and grow as well as I reflect on some deeper topics. For this first SPD, we're going to talk about mentality. If you're in a leadership position by virtue of position or rank, you should be in a new mindset. You're no longer a doer, you are a manager and a leader. All that management stuff you've been hearing about, this is you now. It's not about you anymore. Your primary job is to lead, shape, mentor, and activate others. Your job satisfaction and assessment of your performance no longer relies on how well you do things, rather how you train, equip, prepare, mentor, and lead others to do things. I'm not going to lie, I've seen a number of you over the past few months running around trying to solve all the world's problems. We are inefficient and missing out on opportunities. My first point is that I want you thinking like managers and leaders. You don't have to do everything yourself. We're going to talk about expectations, time management, and delegating. We'll try to move from tactical to operational and strategic thinking, at least at the flight and squadron level. As flight staff and senior leaders, we will attempt to get you running more like a mini squadron and less like a group of bros and sisses checking boxes and slogging through tasks. You probably have a list of things your shop is responsible for. AFIs to be satisfied, MICT checklists to do, meetings to attend, currency, just a million things to consider. Something I do in my shop is I have a list of the day-to-day, weekly, monthly, quarterly tasks. These are my bills, things I owe the squadron or other agencies. With the exception of meetings, these are internal to the shop, the engine that keeps the basics running. And these go to my subordinates. Sometimes meetings as well, as time requires due to TDYs, as they need to learn to step up, but that's the exception rather than the rule. I stress to them that so long as they handle those tasks, I can focus on big projects, vision, coordinating, and planning and growing for the future. While my eyes are there, I do keep half an eyeball dedicated to make sure the subordinate tasks are done. Honestly, a lot of that stuff can go on autopilot if you properly provide feedback and lay out expectations. Boom, expectations. This works both ways. If you do not know what your shop does or is supposed to do or what the vision is, you need to go ask as soon as possible. Sit down with the commander and ask his intent, your left and right limits. Everything else is space to innovate and grow. Do not ask, what do you want me to do? Remember, you are not a doer, you are a leader. Therefore, it is your job to take that intent and execute using the resources provided. What if you don't have the resources to do what you need or want to do? First, you make damn sure you are employing your given resources to the best extent, but then you go out and fight for more resources and get them. For your people, you need to set boundaries. Give them left and right limits, and ensure you give them enough space to innovate and take risks, just like the commander does with you. Remember, you're not managing drones, you are growing people. So you have to be okay with some failure and missteps to permit mentorship and growth. Success at all costs will cost you efficiency, respect, and capability. People need direction and guidance, and that's your job. Here's a generic pie chart for managing time. These are things to consider, but understand that there are two definitions of balance. The first is very difficult, to maintain perfect proportion. The second is easier to attain, but requires a lot of awareness. Harmony, knowing proper proportion. Sometimes your sleep or personal section might suffer. Sometimes your subordinates require more attention. Sometimes you need to focus on currency, or it might be check ride season. As a high-functioning person, you need to figure out what slices need to be protected and when. You need to be able to muster your resources to meet current requirements. Just as important, you need to help your shop learn how to do this for themselves. Our discussion of time management leads directly into delegating. You are responsible for so much, and you don't need to do it all. You have workers in your shops, so use them. Help them accomplish their internal tasks, meet personal goals, and keep current and growing. If they know their expectations and you give them a healthy workload, you can focus on outward tasks. The tricky part for you will be to figure out how much your subordinates can handle. If, after mentoring them, you determine that you're still shouldering too much of the workload and can't properly look outward, then you need more resources. Ask for them. We also need to talk about pride of ownership. Realize that when you delegate, you set your own commander's intent. You surrender some control. Realize that tasks will not be done the way you would do them. Maybe for the better, maybe for worse. If you properly articulated expectations and standards, and they're clear, this is your measuring stick. This is like instructing in the airplane. There's a reason that instructors do not fly every approach. Junior members need a chance to try, to fail or succeed, to be mentored and guided. Therefore, you need to set parameters, give them the rope they need, then follow up and provide feedback. If you swoop in and seize the panel at every misstep, no growth occurs, and you'll actually do damage to the members' growth as well as your own personal time resources. Those of us who've been around for a while will tell you that the Air Force has gone through some changes. In the past, leadership and decision-making has been very centralized, and it seemed like you needed a GO to get anything done. This is no longer the case. Unlike my flight commander experience, and probably like the senior's flight chief experiences, you have so much more control and responsibility. Do not waste it. You are not helpless, and you're not alone. You possess the skills and knowledge to effectively manage your shops and lead our people. If you need help, we are here for you. This is an ongoing, never-ending exercise in growth and development, and I am excited to do this with you all in the Double Deuce. I know this video, at least the words I used and whatnot, are a little more focused on flight commanders, but I want you to pass these lessons on to your flight chiefs and help develop them as enlisted leaders as well. Let's keep the dialogue going. I hope you found this informative and helpful. Please pass me your feedback as to what you think and what you would like to see in the future for these SPD modules. Thank you all. Have a great weekend and have a good night.